What's up, y'all? The NBA season is back, and while teams continue to find their footing, our partners at Fanatics Sportsbook are already running championship plays. Bet with Fanatics and earn up to 10% fan cash on your bets, win or lose. So even if your bet misses, you're still scoring fan cash, which you can use on NBA gear, tickets, and exclusive Fanatics events. And with fair play, if your players go down injured in the first half, your bet stays live. Make the switch and get more ways to win with Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to KFS Weekly Wagers, brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook. I'm Shawn for W, and let me be the last, or among the last, to wish you and hope that you had a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving holiday. And I will pose that question to today's co-host, who is back for a third straight week because I cannot get rid of this son of a you-know-what. Jonathan Macri, how the hell are you?
I'm good. It occurs to me that we have not spoken about our respective Thanksgivings because you couldn't join me and Jeff on Takedown yesterday. And we both kind of took it easy at the end of last week. My Thanksgiving was good. I have a little bit of turkey left. I've had 4 Thanksgiving sandwiches since Thanksgiving. And I think I'm going to have one more as for my dinner tonight or for my lunch tomorrow. I feel like I could go a week out, right? Like I'm safe to eat the turkey up until this Thursday, right?
So
or are you going to disagree? You going to push
no,
back?
No. Do you know who Plies is?
Plies?
Yes, Plies.
Is that like a biblical figure? I don't know.
Plies is a rapper from the South. You've
American
probably heard
rapper.
his song. Yes, you probably heard some of his songs.
Don't put any wagers on that.
When
Busted Baby Part 2. Maybe I've heard Busted Baby Part 1. I don't know about Part 2. Pop yo shit. You know what? That was my wedding song, believe it or not. It's great.
Listen, when you told me when you said years ago on the KFS pod that if you was DJing a party, one of the songs that you want to hear is "Sim Simmer" by Beanie Man. I was like, all right, you know what? John's ear is more to the streets than your average Staten Island male.
But that's back then. I don't know. I don't listen to new music.
That's fair. All right. Well, anyway, I said to
anyway, continue.
Plies put out it wasn't even a TikTok. It was a video on social media like 5 years ago.
Okay.
And he talked about Thanksgiving leftovers. And his stance was you should not eat Thanksgiving leftovers past Friday. And he broke it down by saying, like, look, I wish I could find it. He broke it down.
You mean like the day after Thanksgiving?
After that, yes, after Friday, it's because he broke it down. He was like, listen, they cooked the food on Tuesday. No, they cooked the food on Wednesday. All right. And he said it in this accent. All right. Y'all won with the Thanksgiving leftovers. All right. They cooked the food on Wednesday night. You eat the food Thursday. All right. Next day, Friday, cool. Saturday, you might be able to, but after Saturday, you wildin'. I'm paraphrasing here. So I'm with you. I don't give a shit. I will eat. I ate Thanksgiving leftovers yesterday. In fact, I cleaned out. The only thing we have left now is this. There's a container, small take-home container that's full of macaroni and cheese, which is my 3rd favorite food on the planet. And best believe I'm gonna find some other food in my house for lunch, and eat that, and then eat that with the macaroni and cheese. Now, I don't think you should eat Thanksgiving leftovers a week after Thanksgiving.
No,
like
tomorrow's the last day. Tomorrow's the last day. I'll do that.
All right. That all right? Because I feel like you said they're good till Saturday, and I was like,
No. No. Thanksgiving's on Thursday. Tomorrow is Wednesday. That's a week. I'll finish it all by tomorrow, and then we're good. But like we could talk about this for a long time. My mom used to make chicken cutlets on Monday, and there would be like the cutlets in the fridge for the whole week. But again, this is just how I grew up. Some people don't even left. My wife wouldn't touch a leftover if you paid her to. So everybody's different. Anyway, let's talk about
Dolores and Jennifer are two peas in the pod because she's not a leftovers person either. So
there you go.
All right, so now let's get back on the rails. Let's talk about gambling. And we will start with our recap of the weekend review. So last week, our New York Knickerbockers 4-0. Again, on the money line, and obviously the money line reflects the actual record, and 13-6 overall. Against the spread, 4-0 and 12-7 overall. So that means if you've taken the Knicks spread every game this year, you would be in the black by a pretty solid margin. But the over-under is interesting. Every game they played went under, and they're 10-9 overall for the season. Every game went under. Now, that can reflect a couple things. One, there could have been some quote-unquote underwhelming performances, no pun intended. There could also be, Vegas is setting the line too damn high. And they came in under. In fact, I'm looking this up right now. I have this right here in front of me, the Knicks' last 4 games. So the Knicks' last 4 games they scored was so against Toronto, 116-94, Milwaukee, 118-109, Charlotte, 129-101, and Brooklyn, 113-100. The takeaway for me is that the under on hitting,
not
necessarily because of the Knicks, is because the opponents that they played suck or were underwhelming. Again, Brooklyn scored 100. Like in today's economy, Brooklyn scored 100. Charlotte scored 101. The Raptors scored 94 points in 2025 on Sunday night.
So I think it could be a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B because the Bucks came at it. Obviously, look, we're talking about the Bucks. A day after they lost to a team that I said yesterday would challenge the 72-73 Philadelphia 76ers for the worst record, 82-game record in the history of the sport. So I don't know how much we should be patting ourselves on the back for anything the Knicks did against the Bucks. That said, the Bucks came out firing in that game. We're hitting shots left and right. And I thought the Knicks defense did a more than respectable job holding up despite the early flame throwing from Milwaukee. The other games, Toronto comes out, they're 1 of 8 or 1 of 9 from 3 in the first quarter, and they had no legs by the fourth quarter. So you were essentially facing a competent offense for like the middle 2 quarters of that game. Charlotte, we're not going to do a LaMelo Ball thing right now, but he was on one, and not in the way you want your star player to be on one in that game. And then that stinks. So it's mostly what you're saying, but I do want to give at least a little bit of credit to the Knicks defense this week.
No, that's absolutely 100% fair. Again, 94 points in the NBA game. Yes, for Toronto, it was a back-to-back. After flopping themselves against those same Charlotte Hornets and LaMelo Ball. Although LaMelo Ball was not involved for the last 5 minutes of fourth quarter overtime, but that's another discussion for another day. But yeah, like it's not like the Knicks are winning these games 101-100. They seem to be holding up their end of the bargain. All right, so that is the weekend. That's the week recap. All right, next up, betting and sweating recap. So here is the scoreboard.
Slow clap.
Jonathan Macri has made a triumphant. Don't call it a comeback, as a man from Queens once said.
It's a comeback.
He is tied with Andrew Claudio at 43 points, taking the lead over Shawn for W 42 points, Jeff J at 35 points, and Mensa has some work to do. He has, for those listening, he has 9 points. All right, so now
hold on, but
yes,
this is deceiving. Because you have not gone. I don't know if you were going to say this. You have not gone on this cycle yet.
I have not.
So both Andrew and I are a cycle ahead of you, meaning we have gotten each 3 bites at the apple this year, and you have only gotten maybe 4, and you've gotten 3. Something like that.
I've gotten 4. So basically, you've gone 5 times. I've gone 4.
Okay, so we're not. It's all right. So it's not that big, but I mean, look, you'll over if you do not overtake the lead after your pick, something has gone horribly wrong for you.
Absolutely, but I say that to say, it will be a tight. It will be a tight race. At least going into the new year, and then looking at the Fanatics apps picks. So these are the picks that are in the Fanatics app on game days, including our picks that will come a little later in the afternoon. So Jeff and Andrew are tied at 6-4 with a 600 winning percentage. Mensa is 7-5. I am 6-5. John's 5-5. Which means no, John. That's the tap. But I believe you're 6-5. Check over here.
I'll take it. I was gonna say, Zach Lowe's been looking for a sponsor for his insights into mediocrity on his podcast. Mm-hmm. Maybe his insights into mediocrity could sponsor our wagers, because we're slightly above mediocre. I mean, if you tailed us for every one of these picks, you'd be ahead of the game.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
So, but here's the thing. This is actually an amazing record for gambling, because
tell me why. I can't wait to hear this. Why is this amazing?
The people who gamble for a living, right? If you take those people, the most successful of those people are right 57% of the time.
This is true.
No one is. If anyone tells you they're 70%, 80%, they win all the time, they're lying to you. So you are making money. To your point, they're liars. Like
they're liars.
Like they're liars, or they're Terry Rozier or Jonte Porter. Simple as that.
Get well soon, Terry.
So if you had picked every one of our picks this year, you'd be making money. Now, granted, some of our picks had a lot of the odds were, the negative odds were very high, which I scolded everyone in the betting and soda chat and say, like, let's not give out any more picks that's like plus 190. But you're doing well if you're rolling with us. So you should continue to roll with us. All right.
I'm here for it.
So with that said, let us get into what to look for this week.
Yep.
John, I will start with you.
Okay.
What is there a particular bet, a trend, something you want to fade, something you're interested in? What are you looking at this? No, actually, before you get into that, I'll say this.
I got something, but keep going.
Yeah, everyone out there, be careful. The title of this episode is "Let's Be Careful This Week," because the Knicks have won 4 in a row. They're in the NBA Cup quarterfinals. They're flying high. You look at their schedule, and it's Boston, it's Charlotte, it's Utah. Oh, this should be. Let's be careful, especially with Boston, because yes, we played Boston game number 2. We played Boston game 2. We won 105-95. We pulled away. It wasn't. I never really felt threatened in that game at all. And it's easy to say. Well, actually, Boston went up 30-22. They led 30-22 in the first, and that
was a tough game.
Well, they led 30-22 after the first quarter, and then Boston proceeded to score 51, 61, 68 points for the rest of the game. So I said to say, Boston started out 0-3. And everyone's like, oh, they should tank. It's over. This whole Jason Tatum coming back, whatever. And since then, they have won 11 of 17.
And with they have the 4th best offense in the league overall this year. I should have run what their offense has been since that 0-3 start. I mean, I could just look at what their offense has been in November.
Yeah. You can do. It's
actually they scored 120 points per 100 possessions in the month of November. For the season, they're at 119.1. Like they're an elite offense, and they're doing it a little bit of in a non-traditional way. I mean, I don't know if I should say they put up a ton of threes and they grab a decent amount of offensive rebounds, but they're a good team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, for example, there was a time where Derek White was shooting like 21% from three. And now they look up in November. Yeah, in October, he was shooting 25% from three. Granted, that's 6 games. And 13 games in November, he's shooting 36% from three. So now he's back at league average. Mr. Jaylen Brown, Mr. the Beijing King himself, Jaylen Brown, who I knew that would make you laugh.
Every time. It's just such a ridiculous thing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, the funny thing is he's regressed from three. He was shooting 49%, and now he's shooting 27%, but he's still averaging 28 points per game in November. So it's safe to say this is not the same. This is not the same Boston team that we played the week before Halloween. So with that said, John, what say you? What are you looking at?
So I'm gonna say what I'm looking for this week, but it's gonna come with a pretty big caveat, which is that I would not place a bet on what I am about to say for tonight's game, and I'll tell you why in a minute. The Mikal Bridges stocks thing, we have been talking about it internally for the last week, but I'm the one who gets to be in front of the camera right now, so I get to say it. So I forget who the first person who was to really start hammering this. Maybe
I believe it was Mensa. It was Mensa.
Yeah. So credit to him, not credit to me, but I will take some credit because I went and looked it up after the last game. Mikal Bridges has more stocks than anybody in the league, or as many stocks as anybody in the league. It's him and Scotty Barnes that are tied with 66 a pop. I said it on the show with Jeremy yesterday, and I wrote it in the newsletter. We were sitting here on January 20th of this year, of 2025. And he had 66 stocks. And he accumulated that amount as of November 30th of this season. So if you look, Fanatics actually allows you to do steals plus blocks. I'm looking at it right now. And Mikal Bridges, 3 or more, is minus 120. And then if you go look at his game log, he has gotten at least three steals plus blocks in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive games. So 8 straight times he has done the thing that on Fanatics Sportsbook you can bet right now and get it at minus 120, which is not something you would usually be able to get at that number. Josh Hart, not to be outdone, ever since he has moved into the starting lineup, he has gotten so he's not as much on the blocks because Mikal, and shout out to Benji Ridholtz, who wrote a phenomenal article for Knicks Film School Patreon on the whole concept of how Mikal is being used differently on defense and how he is coming about these turnovers and in particular the blocks. But Josh Hart, a little bit differently, he's more getting in passing lanes, which is why his number is 3 steals in 3 consecutive games. And you could get him if you want to do steals plus blocks, or if you just want to do straight steals. Both of those numbers are really juicy. Josh Hart, 2+ steals plus 135, 3+ steals plus 375, 3+ steals and blocks, that's plus 310. If you want to go 2 steals plus blocks with Josh Hart, that's plus 100. These are all great bets that I would look for as long as OG Anunoby is going to be out because of how the defense is operating without OG, except for tonight. And why except for tonight? Because the Boston Celtics turn it over less than any team in the league. So I'm not saying that Bridges and Hart can't do what they've been doing against the Celtics team, but I don't know if I would go out on that limb against this Boston team.
So that's a good call out. I think so. If I were to bet any one of those, I would bet Josh Hart simply because like you said, his steals and blocks come from more havoc, whereas Mikal's come from more structure. It's the defense is the defensive alignment, for lack of a better phrase, has put me in a position to succeed. Whereas Josh Hart is just like, I just all over the place. Like minus 120 is a good number, is a good number, especially again for someone who's done this 8 games in a row. But to your point, I would tread lightly. So the trend that I'm looking at this week is, so first I was going to look at unders because I was like, again, the Knicks have gone under 4 straight games, but I'm looking at opponent 3-point shooting because
why ever would you be looking at that with a game against the Celtics on the slate?
Well, I'm glad you said that, John. The New York Knickerbockers. So we all know that the Celtics like to put up threes. In fact, they attempt 3 points attempted. They are number 3 in the league in 3 points attempted this season. Which shout out to Bill Simmons. He said this in the summer, and I followed it. Like they're shooting 43 threes a game. The New York Knickerbockers are 4th in the NBA in 3-point field goals allowed at 39.7.
And second in as a percentage of shots, and the Boston Celtics put up a lot of shots.
Yes. So we have here the unstoppable force meeting the unmovable object, or a perfect synergy of the team likes to shoot a lot of threes and the team that's like, sure, go ahead. So first I was looking at one Peyton Pritchard. So Peyton Pritchard to hit over 3.5 threes, is plus 135. That's being offered by our friends at Fanatics FanCash. And I almost bet this damn thing immediately, but then I thought about it. I said, okay, hold on a second. So Peyton Pritchard, he shoots on average 8.5 threes a game. Is plus 135 enough for him to basically shoot 50% from 3 in a game? Now, again, 3-point variance is a thing. He can go 1 for 8. He can go 5 for 8. I don't know. I started looking at his last few games. He hit 6 of 11 against Cleveland. He hit 1 of 8 against Minnesota. He hit 4 of 7 against Detroit. He hit 1 of 4. And for the record, when I look at 3-point props, I'm not looking at makes as much as I'm looking at attempts. Because again, 3-point variance is a thing. So if he's putting up enough shots, it makes sense to bet. And so, for example, he's taken. So this is his last. These are his last 10 games, working backwards, starting from Sunday against Cleveland. This amount of threes he's taken: 11, 8, 7, 4, 9, 12, 13, 10, 5, 6. The team with the lowest amount of 3-point attempts was Orlando, and Orlando is the best team in the NBA at 3-pointers, 3-point attempts allowed. So I throw that out. So, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I like plus 135, but plus 4 plus 3s is in. But then I looked at our friend.
A lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Then I looked at our friend Sam Hauser, and Sam Hauser. And I had this in front of me. Where did this go? So Sam Hauser, I believe, is, where did this go? His number is 2.5. And I believe his number is, I'm gonna look this up. Can you filibuster while I look this up?
Well, yeah, no, I mean, Sam Hauser is like one of those guys that kind of gets like forgotten about. Peyton Pritchard's gotten a lot of love because he's starting. He started every game for the Celtics this season. And he's also just coming off of the best, I don't know if it was the best game of his career. It was certainly a significant scoring game. Sam Hauser, I just think is like less of a sure thing because he doesn't start. He started 3 games this year, but he only plays about 20 minutes a night. And there's just a lot more fluctuation. Like if you just look at the last 5 games of Sam Hauser, there's been 2 games where he's hit 4 threes. And then in the other 3 games, he's hit 2 total threes. And part of that is a function of how many he's attempted. 4 for 7, 4 for 10, and then 1 for 4, 1 for 3, 0 for 3. Another game recently, 0 for 3. So like, I just like Peyton Pritchard. He is at this point. Actually, I want to know how high up is Peyton Pritchard in terms of 3-point attempts per game, because I know Derek White's up there. And let's see, Derek White. So Derek White is the leading 3-point attempt guy on the Boston Celtics at 8.5, which actually a little bit, I think that number has come down, which is healthy for their offense because he was taking a ton. Peyton Pritchard's at 8. Like, again, we don't think of Peyton Pritchard in that light or in that sense, but like the dude is putting up, again, 8 threes a game. It's tied for 16th in the NBA. That's crazy.
I actually see him tied at 11th.
You know what? I'm not filtering out for games played, so I'm just doing like average. So it's like,
okay. Well, so Payne Pritchard has he's 12th, 163 point makes per game. He's tied with he should not be named in Charlotte with 8 3-pointers a game, right? So Mr. Hauser is plus 135 on Fanatics to hit 2.5 threes a game. And
hit 2.5 threes in this game.
To over 2.5 threes tonight, he's plus 135. And the last time he played this team, he hit 6. So that's where I'm.
What's that at? Plus what?
Plus 135. So for me, I'd rather do, if I'm gonna do plus 135, I'd rather hit 3 threes than hit 4.
Are we allowed to do better boost yet?
Yes.
I forget if that cleared with legal.
Actually, I don't know.
I
don't know if it has. But
let's just say if there was theoretically a way for us to decide whether to use our FanCash to make a bet, the bet that Shawn's talking about, and you could do this with your FanCash cash. You could boost it from 130 plus 135 to, what would you boost it to? Probably like 1 plus like 145 or plus 150, something like that. I would feel more comfortable with that instead, personally.
So Mr. Hauser, you can boost him to a 10% boost. You can boost him to plus 148 with FanCash, you can boost him to you can boost him to plus 168 with FanCash. So to your point,
that's a lot more. That's a lot more tempting for me.
Yes. So although we did have a conversation about value and odds, and which we'll get to later on in the show, but I think
yes,
I do think so. For me, I'm looking at opponent 3-point shoot. I'm looking at opponent 3-point shooting this week, especially against Boston, who likes to put it up, against Charlotte, because our friend LaMelo Ball never saw a one-legged 3-pointer he didn't like, and then it's Lauri Markkanen on Friday. Go ahead.
Last thing before we move on from Boston, because I know we have a lot of other stuff to get to, and we're running long. Jaylen Brown has been on one. I know he scored only 19 points in the last game against the Cavs, which Boston won, by the way. But before that, 41, 33, 35, 26, 29, 33. He's shooting the lights out of the ball. He's playing the best basketball, really arguably of his career. His over-under for this game, wouldn't you know it, as I live and breathe, I just looked at it, it was 26.5, and it just moved to 27.5. I have no idea why. So that might even at 27.5, I like that. And then the other one, and I haven't decided yet who I would be going with for this one, but the Celtics are the worst defensive rebounding team in the league. They give up a shit ton of offensive boards. And wouldn't you know it, the Knicks are pretty good at grabbing offensive rebounds. I don't know if I trust.
You know what I'm going to say.
I was going to say Mitch.
Yes.
I don't know if because the Mitch number right now is 7.5. I was on my elliptical before, and I had this thought, maybe I get good. I don't know if I get good ideas when I'm working out or bad ones. Time will be the judge. It's like, would Mike Brown full galaxy brain this and start Mitch tonight? Because just hear me out.
No,
if he doesn't start Mitch, that means he's bringing in Mitch at the end of the first quarter, which opens up Hack-a-Mitch.
Yes.
Because by that point, the Celtics will already be over the limit, and Mitchell Robinson is 2 for 13 or whatever the fuck he is from the free throw line this year. Whereas if you bring him in, if you start him, like right off the bat, you are putting the Celtics, like they're up against the wall because they don't know how to box out Mitchell Robinson. So I don't think Brown will go that route, and I'm not even sure he should go that route, but it was just something that I had a thought about.
No, that's a good call out. And it's crazy now. You look at like Mitchell Robinson is plus 200 for 10 boards, which would be unfathomable number last year. It would be unfathomable 3 weeks ago.
Plus 200 for 10 boards?
Yes.
If I had any modicum of faith that he was going to play 22 minutes in this game. Hey, fine. I mean, 18, fine. But like, man, I know we're running long. But his last several games, here's his minutes played. 17, 19, 17, 17, 22, 18. So you know what? It's I don't know, man. I'm gonna think about I'm gonna think about this one between now and tip off. But we can move on.
I think plus 200 on one of the 5 best rebounders in the sport against one of the worst defensive rebounding teams in the league.
And especially coming off of the most impressive Robinson rebounding performance that we have gotten all year. It's just the Hackimich thing kind of is throwing me off here, as well as just Mitch has been a little bit inconsistent this year. But yeah.
2 things before we move on. Shout out to Armand in the chat. It says, I hope the Knicks aren't wearing white while playing Jaylen Brown. They are wearing their statement jerseys tonight. I can confirm. So, which means the Beijing might be on extra thick this evening. Another thing, a couple people in the chat are like, they think we're being Debbie Downer because like, oh, we just let down week. It's not that we're saying they're going to lose. What we're saying is don't go crazy slamming Knicks overs and money lines and all that. Like it's an 82 game season. It's ebbs and flows. Just be easy.
It's very simple. The Celtics are a lot better than people are giving them credit for, and it's a road game, and the Knicks haven't exactly been road world beaters this year. Then it's a back-to-back, and I don't care if you're playing the Little Sisters of the Poor. Second night of a back-to-back is hard in the NBA. The Jazz, I know the Jazz are at home. I know the Jazz making their one trip to the city. So I don't know if those guys know how to get after it, but the Jazz just beat the freaking Rockets last night. So, and they can score. And then it's Orlando, who has kicked the snot out of the Knicks twice already. So it's, I think I would love for the Knicks to have another 4-0 week. I don't know if I would put my money where my mouth is.
Absolutely. And everyone gets after it when they have the night off, the night before they play at Madison Square Garden. That's well, I know Ace Bailey's going to be getting after it.
Ace Bailey, because he probably already has his spots because he went to Rutgers.
Exactly.
So he's gonna be the ringleader to take the I always forget which Keontae is on Utah. Keontae George, right?
Keontae George, yeah.
Keontae George. Listen, man, Keontae George is in the most improved race. He should go out and have himself a night in New York City and then have another 8 turnover, 0 point performance. His second of the week.
That would be insane.
He was good last night, though. I want to shout out him.
Yeah. The Jazz would also they're the good bad team to me. So
absolutely.
Do not think that they're just a walkover. All right.
No, they're not.
Let's get to futures. So, as we always do, we recap where the Knicks are in the futures race. So the Knicks are currently, last week they were plus 1,300 win the title, which is 5th best. Despite going 4-0, they're now plus 1,500, and they're now 6th best odds to win the title.
Who passed?
Jonathan Macri. Who do you think passed the New York Knicks? I'll give you 3 guesses.
No, you don't need to give me 3. So hold on. They were 5th?
They were 5th.
So they were 5th behind Denver, Houston, OKC, and Cleveland.
Yes.
Oh, the Lakers passed them.
The motherfucking Lakers at plus 1,400. Now,
I mean, I'm not shocked at that.
We're not shocked, and none of you should be shocked because they're the Lakers. They walk and chew gum at the same time for a certain amount of time. They have public fans. They have fans everywhere. The money's coming in on LA. This is not people fading the Knicks as much as money's coming in on LA. So the Knicks are plus 1,500 to win the title. To win the Eastern Conference, they are still plus 400. They are still in second. They have not moved from second all year, although last week they were plus 380. Again, going 4-0 somehow made them plus 400. But listen, here's what I'll say. The way, because I always see people complaining on the timeline about ESPN not giving us our respect, Bleacher Report saying this, there's the experts are saying that, yada, yada, yada. The way to get back at these people is not to complain about it on Twitter. It's to find value in the market and bet on it. I made a good amount of money during the We Here season betting on the Knicks because the Knicks kept winning and people kept thinking, oh, well, it's the Knicks. They suck. This won't last, yada, yada, yada. I made Dante DiVincenzo's first season here. I was like, you know what? Dante 2+3s. This is hitting like every night. And I started banging it every night. Pause. And
giddy up.
And so I say that to say, find value and take advantage of value. So that's the win the East. Again, the Knicks to win the division, minus 145. They're first. Again, I keep saying this. Who the blood clot else is going to win this division? I remember people tried to tell me about the Raptors. That was fun for a week and a half, and they're where they are. This is my favorite future parlay. If you're doing any futures, parlay it with Knicks to win the Atlantic. Minus 145. No one else is winning this division. Nobody. This should. Do you want to talk about value? This should be like minus 250. Nobody else is winning this freaking division. Nobody. Unless you have an argument for somebody, Mr. Macri.
When you put it like that. The Sixers are not winning the division. The Nets are not winning the division. Man, you know, I really do have a lot of respect for what the Celtics are doing, and in particular what Jaylen Brown is doing and how Joe Mazzulla is coaching this team. I don't know, like they still need to cut a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. So there is a possibility and one might say a probability that they are going to try to make a cost-cutting trade this season. So that does not tend to dovetail with winning divisions. So I will say no on the Celtics.
Nobody else. And listen, all right. So for those who are watching, the ...
No, you're right. It's minus 145.
Yes. So I would just parlay this with any other future you like. Any future that you like that's like minus 2 something, whatever. Parlay up the Knicks to win the Atlantic, and you'll probably get plus money. Armand asks, how are the Cavs still favorites? They don't impress me at all, especially last year's. They don't impress me, especially at all, especially playoffs. Because most of the country do not believe in the Knicks. If you put a gun to your head and said, who are, like, again, people think Cat is this softy, Jalen Brunson's a foul baiter, Josh Hart can't shoot. Like, narratives, future markets are as reactive as anything. And narratives play a major role in betting future, in setting numbers for future markets. So this is just a reflection of the market. So take advantage of it. To regular season wins. So the Knicks to win 50 is minus 200. I mean, that's a foregone conclusion. To win 55, which I said has been their number all year, plus 140. And to win 60 is plus 650. Now, this number has caused some consternation. I said, like, plus 650 is decent value, not amazing value. John told me yesterday that he thinks he wait till 10-1. I will say this. If you think the Knicks are going to go on a run and win the next 3 games and win 7 in a row, because we are approaching them Thangs territory. Shout out to I Hate Shawn. You won't get plus 650, you know. If you think the Knicks are going to go undertake a losing streak, like, listen, they play Orlando on Sunday. They play Toronto, they lose in the NBA Cup, and then because they lose to Toronto, they will play the loser of the other semifinal game, which is going to be Orlando or Miami, and they lose 3 games in a row. Then it's then this number goes up high. So it depends on it requires a bit of foreshadowing on your part. I think the best bet here is the Knicks at plus 140 because I think they're going to win 55 games, and they are on pace right now to win 55 games. I think they're on pace to win 56 actually.
I'm not there yet. I wish I could be there. I wish I had your optimism.
If I had your optimism, if I had your optimism, I'd be putting money on the Miami Heat to win the freaking Eastern Conference. You son of a
plus 1,700, man. Just throw it out there. Coach of the year, Eric Spoelstra.
So you know what's funny? I actually think that I can't see player props at awards in New York because New York game rules stink. But
yeah,
actually no. Wait, you know what? I can tell you right now because I bet,
what were you looking for?
Coach of the year. So because I betted, I can look to see where it is now.
Oh, he's going to win the award. Like that is over. Like
it's over.
It's done. It's done. It's absolutely done because I was having a conversation with someone who I won't reveal, but someone who has little knowledge about the way the voting stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think like the people who vote on Coach of the Year in particular, I think will take into account that he is always and widely considered to be the best coach in the league. And there's not really any dispute about that, especially now that Pop is gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if there is an excuse to give him the award, they're not going to go with a tiebreaker against Spo to give it to a guy that everybody acknowledges is a worse coach. Like
Mm-hmm.
if all things being equal.
Well, listen, there you go. So I'm pretty sure.
And sorry, there's no one else who's like popping up and like, oh well, they have to give it to X, this coach instead. That person doesn't exist this year.
Okay,
so that was my rant is over.
No. Listen, so when I made this bet in the summer, part of my cap was this is a lifetime achievement award, and if they're any decent at all, to your point, everyone's gonna be like, oh. How come Eric Spoelstra's never won this award? Right now, Eric Spoelstra is around plus 700 to plus 850. So you still have time to bet this.
The only thing that could get in his way is if the Thunder win like 75 games, which is certainly possible.
Which they won't. They will not.
I don't think they will. I don't even know that I would bet them even money to win 70 games just because they're a very forward-thinking organization, and I don't, like they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna keep their foot on the gas to the level you need to keep your foot on the gas to do that. But that if I was worried about one thing, I'd be worried about that a hell of a lot more than I'd be worried about fucking JB Bickerstaff or. Darko, in Toronto, or like one of those sorts of guys winning.
Which is funny because JB Bickerstaff is the favorite right now,
and he ain't gonna win it.
Then it's
because nobody thinks he's one of the best coaches in the league.
No.
The people who vote on this award don't think he's one of the best coaches in the league.
Well, but then again, it comes down to narrative. So, for example, people didn't think Tom Thibodeau was the best coach in the league in 2021, but it was like, wait a minute, we thought this team was going to be bad, and they're good.
Yes, but everybody acknowledged that. Well, I was going to say everybody acknowledged that Tibbs was the best at what he did, which is taking your floor from here and raising it to here.
Yes,
and I think they rewarded him for that. And also, it was a team that was picked to win, or Vegas was 21 games and they won 41 games.
Mm-hmm.
The Pistons over under coming into the season was what, 45 or 46?
Yeah, something.
Okay,
like that.
Great. Let's give them 55 wins. Right, which is I think right now you would probably say that'd be about where we would peg them, and on the high end,
yeah,
that's not the same as doubling your perceived win total.
No, I totally agree. And even if you go back to that 2021 season, Tibbs beat out Monty Williams, who I believe won 60,
and that team, and I think that the Suns that year. They're over. I'll look it up right now. I would want to say their over under entering that year was in the high 40s, but I'll check it right now.
So that year they were 51-21, which
it's sorry, 72 games. So hold on. Then
over a 82 game season, that would have been 58 wins. So and the Knicks would have won 47. So even though Phoenix, everyone was banging the table for Monty Williams to win the award and whatever. All right, we spent enough time on the fucking Heat. Go ahead.
Suns over under was 38.5 in a 72 game season, which is essentially saying that they'll go 39 and 33.
Yeah.
No, because 72. So 30.
72. Yeah.
Yeah. So they went over that by 12.5 games. The Knicks went over their over-under by 20 games.
Yeah. And New York bias, LOL.
Right.
All right. So now to John's favorite segment of betting of KFS Weekly Wagers, the NBA Cup. The New York Knicks are the only team in the history of the NBA, which has been around for 79 years, to make the knockout round of the NBA Cup every single season of this tournament, which goes all the way back to the 2023-24 NBA season.
Ozzie Sheckman is turning in his grave at the disrespect, but continue.
All right. We're down to 8 teams. The New York Knicks last week were plus 1,200 to win the NBA Cup. Which was 6th. They are now 3rd at plus 700. Now, again, the same way we talk about biases with teams like the Lakers, the Knicks are going to have some bias. We have fans everywhere, whatever. So they're above Orlando, Toronto, Miami, and San Antonio. Here's how I'm going to say to do this. The Knicks plus 700 is basically a 3-way parlay, because you're basically betting that they're going to beat Toronto next Tuesday. They're going to beat the winner of Orlando and Miami on Saturday, and they're going to beat whoever comes out of the West, which will be either would probably be Oklahoma City or LA. Probably.
We should say Oklahoma City plays the Spurs, LA plays the Wait, you're missing a team on here. You're missing the Suns. You got cut off. What are the Suns?
Oh, what are this? Oh, damn it. The Suns are.
There's something more than plus 1,600 because they got cut off on the bottom.
Yeah, they're more than plus 1,600. I'll tell you right
Whatever,
now.
it doesn't matter. That's who I think the Lakers are playing the Suns, unless I got my matchups wrong.
The Lakers are playing the Suns. Yes.
Okay, there we go.
The Suns are plus 5,000. They're 50 to 1.
Looking at this, you're not going to want to hear. You're not going to want to hear what I would put my money on.
I'm always down to hear what you put your money on.
You know what it is. You know what it is already. Give me the best coach in the league to win a 3-game fucking tournament at plus 1,600. Who are you telling me that he can't beat the Orlando Magic?
I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying they can't beat the Orlando Magic. I'm just saying So here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm saying. As you find a way to glaze Eric Spoelstra again.
Sure.
All right, look. The Knicks, when the Knicks play When the Knicks play next week in Toronto, they will be favored. They will not be as favored as heavily as they were. So they were minus 350 favorites on Sunday. Let's cut that number in half and say that they're minus 175, right?
I don't even know if when's RJ coming back? I think that's the first question we have to address.
They said he will be out for a week, which was a week ago. So I assume he'll be back for the game.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, that RJ comes back and plays a couple games before this Cup quarterfinal game, and he looks good, and the Raptors look more like the Raptors looked when they won whatever it was, 8 games in a row. And it's the games on the road, obviously, for the Knicks, where they have not been great. We'll see how they do tonight in Boston. I could see that. I mean, the Knicks will be favored, especially if OG's back. Then the Knicks will definitely be favored. I think I'm going to say it's going to be a little bit closer than you're giving credit for, but continue.
So give me a number, because I'm going to put it into a parlay calculator, see if it makes sense. So what do you think? Is it like minus 130?
I was about to say minus 125, but fine.
All right.
You want to do minus 130?
We'll do minus 120. We'll do minus 130 just because we want to be overly conservative, because I don't want to create a number that's going to look stupid, right? So then they'll play either Miami or Orlando. Against Orlando. So if they play Orlando, that game will be in Orlando. If they play Miami, that game will be at Madison Square Garden.
That's correct.
Both games at Orlando were. Go ahead.
And let me just say, if you look, OG, we heard. What was this, yesterday? We heard on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We heard OG's doing 3-on-3 and controlled contact.
Yes.
That was on November 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was going to say, I think OG's first game back will be Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yes.
All right, so then what I was going to propose, because I was trying to make the case of why he'd be back for the semifinal game, which is would be played on December 13th.
You think he'll be back? You wait a minute. You don't think he'll be back until the semifinals?
I'm saying maybe he plays on Sunday against the Magic. Mm-hmm. Maybe he plays on the quarters. I would be surprised. I would not be shocked if he sat either of those games. I would be mildly surprised if he was not back if they made the Cup semifinal, which again is to be played on. It's the Saturday, so it's 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. That's the 13th. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the 13th. Mm-hmm. Because that's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks from when you already heard he's taking control contact and playing 3-on-3s. He's not back by then. The only reason, before you get anybody out there gets crazy and saying that I'm again being a Debbie Downer, which you could accuse me for in this episode. Ian Begley put out a tweet in the after. I forget when it was, but it was sometime on Sunday. Where I don't want to misquote Ian, so I apologize in advance. But the language was something to the effect of they got to feel pretty good that he's going to be back before the end of the year, or like it was alluding to that. And so anytime Ian Begley puts something out with any verbiage with like end of year, I'm not counting my chickens that he's going to be back on December 9th. You know, that's the only thing.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. So here's how I'm going to do this. So here's what I did. I went and I put a betting. I have a betting odds calculator, and I basically put in these 3 games. So again, against Toronto, let's assume they're minus 130 favorites. All right. If they play Orlando, the last time they played Orlando, they were actually I just had this in front of me. The last time they played Orlando, they were slight underdogs at plus 105.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then let's assume, to be conservative, that they play OKC in the final.
Okay. Well,
which
they'll probably be minus 200 or something.
They'll be plus money. They'll be underdogs.
Sorry, plus. I got that mixed up.
You think they'll be plus 200? I think they'll be like plus 135, not plus 200, not 2-1.
To win the game?
To win the game
against a team that has 1 loss this year.
So, what do you think they will?
I said plus, or I'm mixing it up. I think.
You think
no, yeah,
be...
plus 200.
All right, let me see.
The game would be in Vegas.
The game will be in Vegas. It's a neutral site.
Well, it's a neutral site, but it's a hell of a lot shorter trip for. Oh no, never mind. They'll already be in Vegas.
Yeah, they'll already be in Vegas. Although honestly, I think there'll be more Knicks fans than OKC fans there. But that's
I don't care about that.
But all right, so let's follow you. Let's say they're plus 200.
I think actually, I thought that was conservative, but okay, continue.
Let's say they're plus 200. So if they play Miami, if they play Toronto, Miami, OKC, that is plus 643.
Okay.
If they play Toronto, Orlando, and last time they played Orlando, they were plus 105.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably be underdogs again because Orlando bitch slaps them every time. They're plus 988. So I say this to say, if you think Miami beats Orlando, then you take this plus 700 now.
Oh, okay.
If you think Orlando wins this game, if you think Orlando beats Miami, then you parlay it. That's my advice to you.
I would sooner do these game by game.
Okay.
Just because of the specter of OKC and how good they have been and how they just don't seem to want to lose games anymore. That said, there is a guy who we know pretty well here in New York, and we know that his impact on winning is often has often been underrated, and it should not be underrated. That Isaiah Hartenstein is out, and is going to be, and is almost certainly going to miss the entirety of the NBA Cup because it was reported that he was going to miss 10 to 14 days on November 30th. So maybe he's back but that's a reevaluation in 10 to 14 days. So he is probably not going to be there. So for that reason, now I'm actually starting to doubt myself, because then OKC is a little small.
So I mixed something up earlier. The Suns are playing the Thunder. The Spurs are playing the Lakers.
Whatever. I don't care. I think the Lakers and the Thunder are going to win those games.
I agree. Can the Lakers beat the Thunder? Because if the Lakers beat the Thunder, then you should definitely grab this. Definitely grab this plus 700.
They can. The Lakers are kind of. I mean, you want to know about the Lakers this year? Go watch JJ Redick's press conference after last night's loss, and then go remind yourself the fact that this team had won 7 games coming into that. They're a strange team. They're obviously good, but you look at their net rating. Their net rating is like fine. It's gotten better over the last week, but it's fine. They could beat the Thunder, sure.
There you go. All right. So
I spent a lot of time on the NBA Cup for something I allegedly hate.
I know you hate it, but I don't
hate it. I don't care about it.
Yes, you don't care about it, but I make you do this every week. So, all right. So that is our show for today. Thanks for everyone for pulling up. Thanks to the nearly 600 people watching across either YouTube or Twitter or other social media. We appreciate you so much. If you like what you're watching and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the Knicks Film School podcast on wherever you get your podcast platforms. If you're listening on Apple you're not listening to this on Apple or Spotify, but if you do listen on Apple or Spotify, please
doesn't this
doesn't go on the podcast feed because
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, because it'll be outdated by tonight. So So but if you are a KFS listener and you listen on Apple or Spotify, please give us a 5-star review. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 stars. You are watching YouTube right now, so if you're not subscribed, subscribe on YouTube so that we can get alerts when we go live for shows like this, emergency live streams, and basically the majority of our KFS programming. Make sure you follow us across all our socials at Knicks Film School, SKOOL. That is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads. And if you want more KFS content, including the man sitting to my left for his newsletter or his mailbags, you can sign up for our Substack to get the Knicks Film School newsletter.
My bags are legendary.
They are legendary. Or you can
I'm so sorry. You're almost done too.
Or you can sign up to be a patron through our Patreon, where you can read, for example, the article that Benji wrote about Mikal Bridges' defense. You also get Benji's great books, Benji and John's film, Benji and DJ's film sessions, as well as mailbag and extra podcasts covering the NBA at large from one Jonathan Macri.
In all seriousness, the piece that Benji just wrote on Mikal Bridges, which includes clips and everything, it is the finest piece of Knicks content I have seen in certainly this year and maybe even before that. It is truly exceptional. And as I say this as someone who is very egotistical and writes a Knicks newsletter, Benji is absolutely in his bag on this one. So check that out, please, because it's very good. And I had there was 8% of me that was like, we do an emergency live stream on YouTube because Giannis took down all of the Bucks shit off of his social media, and I was like, I thought better of it.
No, he didn't.
You didn't know this?
No. When was this?
When it's funny, you texted me before. And you tweeted like a half an hour before the show, show, and I saw you tweeted or that I guess Knicks Film School maybe retweeted the tweet or something, and the start of the tweet was like, tune in to this for these reasons, and I was like, oh, Shawn must have said something about the Giannis stuff, and then we're gonna pivot to talking about that, and it wasn't about that. But you didn't know this?
No, I didn't.
He took down all of the Bucks related crap on Instagram and Twitter.
Wow.
And I just thought it was interesting. One, they lost the Wizards last night. And when I tell you that some of his teammates did not show up. And two, I saw some And I don't know how online Giannis is. Obviously, he's a little online because he just took a bunch of shit off his online stuff. But I saw some stuff out there today that was gaining traction with like, it's Bucks fans. Like it starts with 34, meaning. So imagine being this fucking guy, being like, wait a minute. I'm here this season. I'm putting up MVP numbers, and we lose to the fucking Wizards, and y'all are blaming me. I imagine that's not sitting well. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's wow. Okay. I wonder if our friends of Fanatics Sportsbook could give us odds for a midseason trade. I didn't say the who. I just said a midseason trade. But we will cross that bridge when we get there tomorrow. NBA Takedown.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. We're gonna. I actually have an idea for our show tomorrow that I haven't told you about yet, but I'll tell you after we hit stop recording.
All right. And yes, this is a custom KFS shirt. After this game, I'm gonna get on the train and go to Baltimore to coach Westside Catholic like Prop Joe. Someone in the chat said I look like a Baltimore coach because Under Armour is based in Baltimore. So, all right, for Jonathan Macri, I am Shawn for W. Our next show will be next Tuesday. So, quick programming note: we're gonna go live on Monday or Tuesdays when there's a Knicks game. So we have a game to discuss. And the Knicks will play next Tuesday in Toronto. So we'll go live next Tuesday in Toronto. So for Jonathan Macri, I'm Shawn for W. Thank you for watching. Knicks Nation, let's ride. If you're out on your bike tonight, do wear white.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See the Fanatics Sportsbook app.